Shalom, kings and queens. Shalom. Um, I'm coming to you with another video, promo video. Like I say, I'm doing promo videos. If you haven't been following, for my book coming out titled The Knowledge of the Truth. It's titled The Knowledge of the Truth, and I got a chapter in there called If You Want to Hide Something, Put It in a Book. And I got a lot of information on books and things of this nature or whatever that we should be reading, or one should read or should gain understanding or knowledge from. That's very helpful. But I started off with the most important book of all, which is the Bible, King James 1611. If you don't have one, go pick it up. That's a King James 1611 with an apocrypha in it. You can catch my other videos on understanding on why the apocrypha should be in the Bible if you never heard of an apocrypha. So this video here today I'm coming to you is I'm doing this book here called Gods, Goddesses, and Images of God in Ancient Israel by author. The authors are two Jewish guys, which his name is Othmar Kiel and Christoph Eulinger. Gods, Goddesses, and Images of God. So I'm be coming to you with some short but detailed information, understanding on this book, a little bit about it, and why you should pick it up and why one should read it. Follow me. Peace and blessings. So this is the book of the book called, Gods, Goddesses, and Images of God. It's by two Jewish guys that wrote this book, Othmar Kiel and Christoph Eulinger. So this is not a Jewish this is not an anti-Semitism against Jewish people. You know what I'm saying? This is their book. Two Jewish guys who actually did the research on gods that was being worshipped in ancient Israel. So when you see these gods being worshipped amongst our people today, you have to ask yourself, it's no surprise, because these are the same gods that we cleave to in total disrespect and defiance of our God. But understand, they still worship these same gods in secrets today. So in order to understand how they operate, we must know the God that they worship. And I'm going to identify that God for you today in case you don't know. So how is it that today you think that they worshiping the true God? Ask yourself that question, you know what I'm saying? How you think they worshiping the true God of Israel when they made us believe that they was the Israelites? You know what I'm saying? Why would they give us the Israelite God name or tell us who we are? You know what I'm saying? Who God is or who Christ is or who we are and where we come from or the truth concerning the Bible. Think about that. No, they gonna deceive us. They gonna uphold their God. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the God that brought them to power. You know what I'm saying? Understand that. So let's look at the book, Gods, Goddesses, and Images of God in Ancient Israel. I'm gonna read a piece of the book, a chapter out of here. Is on page 191 and is titled Israel, Gods, and the bull calf images and other Baal figures. Baal is another name for the devil, for those that don't know. So and this is God and bull and other Baal figures according to the Old Testament as well. Excuse me. So I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna put it on the screen so you can read along with me. But it says, according to the Old Testament, the worship of Yahweh that included the use of one or more bull calf images was the most distinctive element of the state cult in northern Israel that was established by Jeroboam. After the division of the kingdoms, if one pays carefully attention to the message that was proclaimed at the sanctuaries in Bethel and Dan, at the same time that images of the bulls were set up. Here are your gods, Israel, who brought you up from the land of Egypt. Then one can see that such activities were part of a program that was to give expression to an emancipation intended to free them, concurrently from the subjection of both to Egypt and Jerusalem. So understand, where it says the kingdom was split under Jeroboam, see that the kingdoms was split, you know what I'm saying, to the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom, our people, you know what I'm saying, because we understand we were scattered, You know, we were scattered, and we went to the tribes went to different kingdoms. So we are scattered, you know what I'm saying, throughout the four corners of the earth. And you got to understand when it says Bethel and Dan, Bethel was a town that was within our borders, and it was a town that was known for Satanism and high Satanism and devil worship, but it was right within our borders of our people, so it wasn't too far fetched for them to cleave to the same gods that they was worshiping, basically. So it tell you the worship of Yahweh, which is Yahweh. Yahweh is the spelling of it. Like the bull on the Wall Street that you see, or like the bull in Birmingham, England that you see, or like the bull on the front of the financial centers. You know what I'm saying? You have to ask yourself, why do they put all these bulls everywhere throughout the world or throughout the four corners of the earth? Why can you see these bulls in these places? You know what I'm saying? Understand that. The bull calf image of Yahweh, that's the four-letter name of the Jewish people God. Is Yahweh or Yahweh, you pronounce it. Now, a lot of our people have attached themselves to these names, thinking that the Jewish people will give us the Most High God true name, which is not true. So when you see Yahweh writing in the text, that don't mean that that's the God of Israel. Understand, they wrote that name into our records because our people failed to that God. So to reverence that God, you know what I'm saying, as the God of Israel, they wrote into our records. Understand that. Understand, like I say, Bethel, though, it became a high city for worship of Satan within our borders. Bethel and Dan became the worship. They started beginning to worship in Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? And Baal, the bull calf image of God. So when it says, here are your gods, Israel, a lot of our people get confused when we look in the Bible and see, here is your God, Israel, and don't know it's speaking of there, what it's speaking of there. But when you go into the Hebrew, it tell you that Yahweh was the God. Let's look into it, and I'm going to read this, you know what I'm saying? And this happened during the time of Egypt, when the Most High God rained fire during the time of Moses. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to put it on the screen so you can read the scriptures, right in Exodus. You know what I'm saying? It tell you that Most High God rained fire during this time when they was down there making up a bull calf image, breaking off earrings and gold with Aaron, which is Moses' brother, making a bull calf image. You know what I'm saying? And that bull calf image was Yahweh that they was worshiping, an idol, a deity or a deity, you pronounce it. So during this time, Moses was getting the commandments while our people was worshiping the calf. He was destroying the bull calf image Yahweh. So we have to show our people not to follow these gods, so that they will not fall, you know what I'm saying, to these guys like the people in Palestine will, which are the fake Jews. The Jews who claim they are real Jews, but they really Jewish people. But what is a Jewish person anyway? I never heard of that. That's like saying something is blue or bluish, or, you know, that's telling you they not the people within the name. That's why Christ told us in Revelations 2:9 and 3:9 that I know the blasphemy of those that say they are Jews, although they are not, but they are the synagogues of Satan. The Yahweh is the Jewish people God. Wake up. So while Moses was getting the commandments on Mount Sinai, you know what I'm saying, they was with Aaron, you know what I'm saying, down there at the calf, breaking off earrings and gold and building the calf. And now the calf is basically a body with two heads. You know what I'm saying? One body with two heads. So these are the same guys that we was worshiping coming out of Egypt and back in 721 BC under Jeroboam. And it's the same guys the Jewish people worship today. That's what the issue is. These are the same guys that Jewish people worship today. And that's why these Jewish historians made this book. Understand that. They got the names of gods of ancient stones that was left in the ruins of Israel and in antiquities. Understand that, you know what I'm saying? To find the research on the gods and the names of the gods that our people was worshiping in ancient Israel, you know what I'm saying? So they can get the name of the gods that we failed to and that destroyed us. Wake up. And this book is very important. It's very important. Why? Goddesses, goddesses, and images of God in ancient Israel by Othmar Kiel and Christoph Eulinger. These are two Jewish scholars who put this book together. So understand, if I'm telling you this and you don't believe it, are you going to believe when you read this book? Because these two Jewish people, it seems like with our people sometimes a Jewish person, or, you know what I'm saying, or a pastor or something, or somebody of that nature has to give you understanding for you to believe something. You know what I'm saying? Somebody like me, you don't want it to get the understanding. But that's what we have to stop doing as our people. I don't care who tell the truth. Like I said, I just seek it. I don't care who tell it. You know what I'm saying? I'm unbiased when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? If you telling me something that I can learn from or something I can do the research on, that's what I understand about our people too. When you hear something you don't know, you don't even go do the research on it. You rather just disagree. You know what I'm saying? You rather rebuttal and opposed to going to do the research and get the understanding, see what I'm telling you is true. So this book is so important because guess what? It's in the law. God told us, do not have no other gods before me. That right there in the law lets you know. I'm put on the screen and said, don't have no other gods before me. That lets you know that there was going to be other gods, first of all. So this book is saying it's gods, goddesses, and images of God, meaning that it's lesser gods. So that law lets you know it's going to be lesser gods, first of all. So you have to ask yourself, what God am I praying to? What God am I praying to? Because there's only one true God, and he gave his name to Moses, and it's a reason for that. He gave his name to Israel because the God and the true God, you know what I'm saying, that we should be worshiping, he's the one who made the fallen gods that's being worshipped in the earth today. Ain't that something? He's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of Israel, and he tell you that all through scripture. So understand that. You got to know what God you dealing with and what God you praying to. That's why I tell you in scripture, and I'm going to put it on the screen and tell you that the Most High God is a spirit. He is to be worshipped in spirit and truth. But how can you worship him in spirit and truth if you don't know the truth? Wake up. Go get this book. Get some understanding on it. Peace and blessings. Shalom.